Diamond mining in Hypixel Skyblock can be tricky, but with the right setup you can earn up to 45 million coins per hour. Here's a step-by-step guide on how to do exactly that. Find a lot of people with poor rates and great setups, which I struggled through too. Alright, so I just did a 1 hour test of diamonds, and in an hour's time, putting me about 42 million coins in just 1 hour. I'll show the setup that makes 40 million coins an hour, and then later I'll talk about what you can get by with if you can't afford a setup like this. So my setup actually consists of 3/4 mineral, all with jaded, recoms, and wisdom 5. Then I have jaded boots of Devon with a recom and 2 perfect jades in the slots. I also have a Devon's powder coating, wisdom 5, and those are all the things that are actually important on this. Next is my pendant of Devon, which also has a powder coating, a jade slot, and it's reforged to blazing with a recom on it. Then I have blazing titanium, which is not recommed, and it can be upgraded for just a small, like 2 fortune each. Then I have blazing dwarven handwarmers. This can also be recommed. Lustrous. I also have fortune 4 and ultimate wise 5 with an amber polished drill engine and a gemstone fuel tank with a sunnyside goblin armor. I have a second drill. This drill doesn't really matter about its base stats. The main things you'll want for this is a perfectly cut fuel tank and a blue cheese goblin armor. It really doesn't matter what drill. It actually works just fine if you're using a mythic drill. Another thing that could be important is a flail of fortune for free 20 fortune. I suggest having an aspect of the void with ether warp transmission, but these routes are doable without it, and you could probably make at least 35 million an hour with my setup without ether warp. Another important thing is Balpet, but a rare Scatha is better by 25 fortune, but you should be rod swapping to a Balpet before Maniac Miner regardless. One last thing my setup is missing is a Quick Claw, which should give up to 50 fortune, because mining speed doesn't matter, which is 40 fortune better than my Bejeweled Collar, only giving 10 fortune. Next thing is optional is an overflux. I personally don't use it, but if you find yourself running out of mana, then it can help. Another thing is having a decent magic power and tuning and going to sighted / bizarre, so you can get high intelligence so you don't run out of ether warps and Maniac Miners. I have about 700 magic power, and this is about pretty much the smallest amount of mana you can go with. Wisdom 5 like I do, and my magic power. Anything less than this you might run out of ether warps. Some other small details can be things like my Pulveroid books for 5 fortune, my Relic of Power that yields 25 fortune, and Sky Maul that has a chance for reduced ability cooldowns and 50 fortune. And another thing being Better Together, which can give up to, I believe, 20 fortune per person in your radius. All you need for your autumn tree is about 7 million mithril powder and 4.6 million gemstone powder. Most of your mithril powder is going to be going into efficient miner. Next, you want to max out old school for 100 ore fortune. Then you want mining fortune maxed out on your mithril powder for another 100 fortune. Your core of the mountain is incredibly useful for the pickaxe ability, making your maniac miner far better. Of course, you need maniac miner on, and then fortunate mineman. You can also go to speedy mineman with the extra 3.6 million gemstone powder. Another thing I forgot to mention is you pretty much just need autumn 7 to do this. You should only need about 4,000 mining speed to mine at full efficiency. Anything more than that is actually not necessary. Should be at the same, I believe, 4 ticks per block break. Everything else in the autumn tree is optional. I suggest getting seasoned mineman to get more mining XP and level up EXP shared pets. And everything else in the autumn tree is completely useless when it comes to diamond mining specific. With that being said, most of your upgrades should be primarily focused on getting more fortune. If you don't have a pendant of Devon, but you have dwarven handwarmers, I don't suggest using dwarven handwarmers, as the full set bonus from titanium should outdo it. This would be the second best thing after the pendant of Devon and dwarven handwarmers. Go ahead and do the math here. The amount of fortune you get from a set like this is 81. Versus the full set bonus of the titanium being 100 fortune. Something useful that I don't have is also the blood donor artifact, which increases mana regen too. You can also use the blood donor ring for 5% mana regen, which is also quite cheap. Another super useful talisman is the soul flow battery. This thing also just gives you pretty much 400 overflow mana. If I have myself at 0 mana here, I'm still able to ether warp even though I don't have enough, thanks to the soul flow battery. Something that helps a lot is having ultimate wise on your drill, as this makes the mining fortune cost about 10 instead of 20, which adds up big time. It costs about 1600 fortune just to get your maniac miner capped out with the blue cheese goblin omelet, which reduces the amount of cost. So if you can reduce the amount of mana it costs with ultimate wise and other attributes, this definitely helps a bunch, and you shouldn't be running out of mana nearly as much. Really incredibly useful attributes in the new update can help a load with diamond mining. First of all is the breeze attribute. If you aren't damaged in the last 5 seconds, it decreases your mana cost by 10%, which is similar to just having ultimate wise 1 at all times, since you shouldn't be attacked diamond mining obviously. Then is the mana regeneration, which is the XYZ shard. Increases your mana regeneration by about 10%, which also is super helpful because you're just regenerating more mana, so you can spend it again on Maniac Miner. And if you're curious on how to get these shards, it's honestly quite simple. You need an Everstretch lasso, or any type of lasso works, but I suggest having a good one and not waste your time. And you want to look for these EXCs in the Crimson Isle. Here's the coordinates, then get close to them and throw your lasso at it. Above it, it'll say real, and it'll pull it in. After a couple right clicks, the shard will go in your attribute menu. Since it's an epic shard, you need about 32 of these to max it out. The next is the breeze shard. This is pretty useful and also pretty easy. Make your way into the Crimson Isle and take a left here, and go ahead and kill these wither specters using a hunt axe combined with a pocket black hole. You put these in a black hole for 1 to 2 attributes at a time. Make sure you have your David's Cloak on for more hunting fortune, and this will easily be maxed out in just a couple minutes. Now you might be wondering, is my gear actually good enough to diamond mine? So here's what I suggest to have before you start diamond mining. You could get away with mineral armor, but your rates are going to be noticeably worse, since your Jaded Reforge won't give nearly as much fortune. But this can always be upgraded into Glossy later, so it's going to be okay. If you're going to use mineral, I suggest just using full mineral so your mining spread is okay. Next, you can get away with maybe Efficient Miner at 90 or 80 level, which is half the amount of powder. It should only cost you about 2.3 million to get 250 mining speed from this. And mining fortune is also pretty cheap to go to about level 40, giving you 80 fortune for only 1 million powder. I do definitely suggest having ore fortune maxed out and fortunate minement maxed out, as gemstone powder is incredibly easy and just profitable to mine in the first place. Next, I suggest at least having a titanium 655 with jade slots on it, and especially in the universal slot. This can get you an extra 1,000,000 coins an hour for pretty much no extra effort. I see a lot of people mining with topaz in their bonus slot, which is pretty much just killing your rates for no good reason. Two things that are very important that I forgot to mention is your drill parts. A gemstone fuel tank should be just fine, but having it perfectly cut means 10% less ability cooldown, which is very useful since Maniac Miner again is one of the biggest sources of fortune from this mining setup. And if you don't have a gemstone fuel tank, you'll probably find yourself just refilling your fuel often. Next is an amber polished drill engine. You could also get away with a sapphire polished drill engine, as it's 50 mining fortune. There's a pretty big jump, so I do suggest going for the amber polish, as it will increase your rates by a lot. And the Sunnyside Goblin Omelet, obviously. This thing is very easy to get, shouldn't take you any time at all, and you should have it pretty much accidentally getting your powder, as all you need for this is a flawless topaz and 96 yellow goblin eggs. Finally, there's a blue cheese goblin omelet. On Iron Man, this is incredibly difficult, and it's not completely required. I'm not saying you need a blue cheese goblin omelet to do this, but it definitely helps your rates a lot, as it ups your ability for the Maniac Miner by 1, plus with the Core Mountain, making you get 15 fortune and 20 mana per block break and 35 seconds of Maniac Miner, versus the 10 fortune and 30 seconds of Maniac Miner. Maniac Miner is definitely what sets this apart from a usual ruby mining route and stuff like that. This will get you from rates like 20 million an hour to 40 million an hour. I also suggest at least having a good amount of MP, like 500 plus, so you're not fully running out of intelligence. If you're Iron Man, there's a good chance you don't actually have Ether Warp transmission. It's okay, your rates will only be down about 5 million coins an hour. I suggest going ahead and getting E-Man 7, as it's not that difficult and it should only take just a good amount of hours getting Atom Split. I do have a tutorial on how to do this with a very easy setup. As you can see, I managed to get E-Man 7 just 2 days. This titanium equipment should do just fine. I don't really suggest rushing diamond mining, as the progression in mining is pretty helpful for an Iron Man player, and if you can't diamond mine, you could also just always gold mine or ruby mine. If you don't have glossy mineral, I suggest just focusing on getting your setup better like I have until coal comes around to go ahead and get your glossies. I can link to videos on how to get your glossies very efficiently, and I might make a tutorial if coal comes around again too. Suggest also having wisdom 5 on this and your 2 jade slots, and a Devon powder coating for a bonus 10 fortune. You don't need the Devon powder coating, it's just slightly better rates. Also make sure this thing is jaded and recommed, as recoms do increase the bonus from gemstones and jaded. Wondering how I have some convenient mods that tell me which blocks to mine and where to ether warp to? This is simply done with mostly chat triggers and skytills. You type skytills in your chat and you have the mod downloaded. You can go to edit waypoints, and you have some waypoints here that label every single block breaking, and it helps you with your efficient miner. These help so you don't end up mining on bedrock like this. I'll go ahead and have a way on how to get to these waypoints in the description, and you can copy paste them by going to the share button in the bottom left and pressing import from clipboard. Next thing is this waypoint mod that tells me where to ether warp to, with a line showing me where to look. This is done with coal weight. Most people should have this if you're pretty far into mining. This is easily found on mining coal, but to get this you need chat triggers, which is another mod, and you just do cg import coal weight, and it should import it into your mods. Be careful using chat triggers, as some mods you can import and it could just rat your account straight up, so make sure you only use verified mods. Another mod I have is this diamond tracker, which is called Big Diamond. To actually download this mod, it's kind of a complicated process, so here's a video for that.
Hey guys, this is how you install the Diamond CT. You must have chat triggers installed for this. If you don't have chat triggers right now, you're actually a weirdo. Go to this link that I put into the Discord thread, and then download the zip file. You can literally read all the code here, and you can tell that there's no rat in here. Next, when I go to your .minecraft folder, go to config, chat triggers, modules, and then create a folder called Big Diamond. Open the Big Diamond main you downloaded from the GitHub, put the 2 files into the Big Diamond folder, and then do CT reload. After it's done loading, you should have a profit tracker in the top left. You can type Big Diamond to move it around. You can move it around and scale it with the scroll wheel. It's based off the Sax message, so you just have to wait 30 seconds for each time. And then if you want to start over, you just do /Big Diamond reset.
Make sure you go give Middle some love. This guy made all the routes, waypoints, and this chat trigger module, which is incredibly useful. Last but not least, I'm also using a texture pack, which is the progress bar break. This makes it so when you break a block, it goes ahead and shows a progress bar, telling you how close you are to breaking this block. On diamonds, it's pretty useful. You know how close you are to breaking it, so you can think about where you're on to going to the next one. If you're using a diamond route, you should actually be going ahead and running into bedrock if you're going quick enough. It will slowly but surely catch up to bedrock. So don't worry about completely maximizing your efficiency, just make sure you're non-stop mining diamonds. If you do run into bedrock, don't worry about waiting just a second or two to get past it. If you miss a diamond to mine, and you skip something like this, you tend to run into bedrock more often since you're going through the route quicker than usual due to skipping a waypoint. So I suggest mining every single waypoint for efficiency. If you guys want a title on your screen for when your Maniac Miner is ready, as not using your Maniac Miners on time can definitely kill your rates, go into the SkyTills menu by typing /SkyTills and go to edit notifications. And here I can send you a copy paste in the description and something for the title. So when your Maniac Miner is ready, it sends a title like this. Now, for my Badline players, you guys might realize that you don't have any of these mods for the waypoints, but that's okay. If you go into your waypoints mod by searching waypoints in this, click this, and then you see this import button. Just copy paste the SkyTills Badline waypoint, and then press import with it on your clipboard, and then once you click it, it'll show this. Go ahead and uncheck these 3 top boxes and press import. Then you'll get diamond mining 30, and it'll show you waypoints for every single block to mine, and also what's Etherwarp to. You can go ahead and tweak the settings if you want these to be different, your Etherwarp blocks and the blocks that need to be mined, by going to these TP ones, pressing override visual settings, and changing the color like this, so the Etherwarp blocks are different. Something also that is important is every 50 fortune should equate to about 1,000,000 coins made an hour. As you see in my cold weight mod, I have about 1968 fortune, so if I divide that by 50, it says I make about 39 million coins an hour, which is pretty accurate based off the last 2 tests. Something also incredibly important, and I cannot stress this enough, if there's already somebody mining, please don't mine there. It's just gonna ruin your rates and the person's rates, and it's much easier to just lobby hop and find a lobby. And keep in mind, if you want to mine diamonds during Fiesta for those double drops, you are going to get very competitive lobbies, and you'll most likely get grief due to those few people who choose to grief. I suggest gold mining, because lobbies are less griefed in that scenario. You can try diamond mining, but there's a small chance you'll actually find a lobby to yourself, and or not just end up just having somebody mining your diamonds. One last thing is there's a 5th vein up here you can include to your route. I highly suggest not doing it, as I did an hour test with it. It definitely lowers your rates a lot just because you're spending your time ether warping, and then you have to spend a good amount of time getting this ether warp off just to mine 2 blocks, and every other spot is more than 5 blocks mined. Isn't very worth it, and it'll probably kill your rates even though you might be running into bedrock or veins. Turn out to be a diamond mining pro, so thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just comment down below, and also subscribe if you want to see more tutorials.